So the next one, going back to the inside, right? So angling off the inside and now rotating to the inside over the top and hitting him on top of the wrist bone. And then the same thing, moving outside, boom, hitting. Right? Same thing, essentially, but now the outside. Angling, rotating, come on top of the wrist bone, angling. However many steps you take is fine, as long as the angle is there. Like he's tall and this is a little bit longer than this same thing, just going outside and use one stick. Yeah, because you want to be completely away from him. The thing is, like, if he's here, it may not be that I'm just punching him in the face. Like, that's the stimulus. I may be trying to go and then punch him in the hand to try to get him to release this. Like, if he left this out here, oh, and now I've got my access to his weapon. Alright, so, again, really it's, what if I have a large knife or maybe like a short sword? I'm stabbing at him. So, you don't have all that, so he just goes against this. But like, you have to think about things bigger than just what's on the surface, right? So if I'm stabbing at him, go ahead. Like, he's got to be able to get away and knock the weapon out of my hand. Alright? So it's essentially the same thing, just the outside. Okay? Just coming and hitting the body, the inside and the outside. But if you took the opponent out, the person with the stick is doing the exact same motion, right? Both times, whether they're rotating, rotating. But as soon as, like, you'll be doing it fine and say, okay, now do the outside, and it all breaks down again, right? And that's like part of the trick is, like, for some things you have to worry about what the opponent's doing, because whatever attack they give influences your defense. But on another, like, in another way, you can't worry what the other person's doing. You got to focus on what you're doing, right? So the next one, or actually the next two, I would say go around one each and then switch to the next one. But it's going to the inside now, and now you're pivoting, right? And taking it. Now changing the pivot, right? Changing pivot. Pivot. And pivot. Oh, and then, pardon me. Then the next round, do the same thing to the outside. Okay. So, inside, good guy, bad guy. Then outside, good guy, bad guy. Right? Have fun on this one. You just post them. Alright. Boom! But line things up, right? Because it's a mass coming at you. Like, if he is really big and he's really smoking it in, I'll put 2 hands on it. Right? To just get him to post on something. Don't recommend trying to do it in the middle of the body. Like, it may hurt him, but he's got some momentum, he may power through me. So I can do it when it's higher up. One, it's a little scary, but also I got more leverage over him at one of the ends of the spine. Right? You could theoretically do it like in the hip, but it's hard to do. So I recommend the throat above. The throat's good because if you're a little bit off, if you hit him in the chest, it'll slide up. If you go a little too high, you get him in the face. So you don't have to contact each other on this one, because even with this, if he came in too hard and I hit him too hard, it might kill him. Because it's still straight. Kind of a sidebar to that. If you watch these like circus acts with like the Shaolin monks or the fake Shaolin monks or whatever, and they'll do the spear in the throat thing, where you got the guy and he's like, here, he's like, and they got the spear there, and the guy can withstand it. It's a trick of physics, because all the pressure is here. It's like, hey, well, change it, do this, and then they'll go right through them. So you can't be fooled by things like that. So anyway, and I'm also getting low to take the pressure if he does post. So I'm not just kind of hanging out here. If he hits here, I may also get hit. So I'm boom. getting low, right? Okay. Like in a post here, right? Is how you go to the next one. I don't want to just go willy-nilly, okay. Right? So we've gotten here. So one more time. I've gotten here, boom. Okay, one more time. I've gotten to this point, right? Boom. So you're basically staying in posture the whole time. You're staying kamae, so you're guarded the whole time. Right? If he gets one past, well, it's Toko Yoshi, so I can move off to the side or either way. Which I don't have any shuriken with me to do that drill, but you can tell, like, is he going to punch right or left, or is he going to punch right or left of the stick, or is he going to go straight for the stick by having this up? So it gives me a moment to try it. And then I see it coming, so I'm getting offline and posting. Right? And staying in posture the whole time. So it's like jumping up. Okay. Couple more times. Yeah, this is good. So catch. Like, have this as a distraction, but catch. Boom. And then you change. Right? So catch, but put this in her face so she sees that. Right? You change. I haven't done it yet. Huh?
I felt it coming.
I don't know.
Okay.
So, yeah, you catch, get here, like you're already in a position to pull, right? So you pull, and then you put the pressure on. Right? So it's not really the pressure that throws them. It's like the position you use when you do Hicho from Motogaku from Hanbo. You get in position that you're strong, so you can pull them and then twist, right? Same idea. Boom, you get position first. Use your body, then press. With the woman, it's worse. So, boom, because one, you might hit their hand. If they don't guard with their hand, you hit them in the head. Right? So then as you transition, you change your feet. Right? So right now it's not bad, because I don't want to know it yet. Yeah. So you get them going, and then, like in a real fight, it wouldn't be like gentle, it'd be bam. Right? So you kind of get them going first. Right? Already going. Right? Then, boom. Okay. Give a shot. Pulling method, and there's a couple of reasons why I think it's better. So if we get in here and we're hitting whatever, the most common way is we're here and then we push across and try to cut this angle, right? So boom, we cut this angle. But if he's strong, go ahead and resist it. That may already got too much. If I'm a little off, yeah, I mean, I'm having to push a lot to keep this. But with the pull, you know, if I'm here and I catch, and I just pull here, go ahead. Like, I don't have to fight nearly as much. Right? I can move with my body. So, because I've set like more of a skeletal lock here, I don't have to do as much. Whereas here, I'm having to constantly pull, I'm having to constantly push here. Here, it's just a matter of the position. Like here, I'm not even pulling, I'm just holding on. Right? Because my shoulder is already past, the length of my arm is taken up, so that's the natural pull. My elbow into my wrist is a natural push. So it's much harder for him to fight through it. I mean, granted, if he sees it early, that what's happening, he sees it early and resists at that point, then it's not going to work. You have to do something else. But the other thing, like, boom, if I'm here, I don't get this quite right, can you reach me the other arm? He might be able to power through and get that. Like, even if the stick slips. But if I'm here and the stick slips, go ahead. like I still got a chance to bail. Right, so you're already in position to pull and throw him, just like you would be in Motoyaku or Gansekinage. You're not trying to change the direction. The other factor is like, you're gonna do it to me, is if I'm trying to blast through him, cutting that angle's not gonna be there, right? It's gonna be easier for him if I'm like blasting through to go with the pull, right? Because I'm already moving that direction. But if he tries to like cut the angle and go like across, same technique. And he tries to go this way, yeah, so that's what you're gonna do, right? Because that's the one most people do, right? But, oh, I've already jammed it. Now I can grab a stick. Now we're gonna fight. As opposed to, oh, you wanna go this way? Cool, I'll help you. Does that make sense? So you're getting put out of his way and then helping him go the way he was going. So you're not crossing the path of his momentum or trying to go against it or change his momentum. Right? You're just going the direction he's already going. So that's like, you kind of have to understand where the technique fits in. Like, if it's someone who's taking their time and measuring, this probably isn't going to work. Right? It's for the guy who's trying to run you through and kill you. Like you're saying, what if he has a knife and I'm just like, I'm trying to stab. Then he's got to move, right? And it may work then. So it comes from battlefield art, like if you watch people who are, I mean, even in modern times, if you watch like real attacks and you look at people who are trying to kill the other person, there is no like measuring and feeling out. There's no like sparring. It's, I'm going to run you through. Like, there's really no, let's check this out. It's the guys who just want to fight, you know, the drunk dick at the bar who, I'm tougher than you, man, that'll do that. Not that you don't need skills in both, but you have to understand where a method or a tactic or a skill set or whatever fits. Like this technique doesn't fit for someone who's going to punch and stop. Right? That's why you always make yourself safe first, right? So if he just kind of like punches and stops, then he just gets hit. Big deal. I don't have to do much, right? That's why generally it's going to be mostly striking if you're using a Hanbo. Like you're hitting the guy primarily, I'd say at least 70% of the time. 30% doing like grappling type stuff, if it shows up. And even then it's striking, right? The arm bar, right? It's not an arm bar. It's not like I'm gently pressing it. So you get in position and you go bam and hurt him, right? So if you if you caught his knife for whatever reason, or you didn't think about hitting it, you're there, you hit it that way. Right? It'll at least make that arm a little weaker. Okay? Alright, keep going. It's fine when you're doing it like on the inside. And then, okay, let's do it on the outside, and then it just goes like, wait, what? Right? There's too much, you're worrying too much about the stick. Like, whenever we put weapons in our hands, like our brain has a tendency to go to the weapon. Like, if you give someone a knife, especially if they're not well trained, you give someone a knife, all they can think about is cutting and stabbing. And they forget about kicking and punching and all the other grappling stuff. Right? Same with the stick. But it seems like because you have multiple ends that you can play with, it's almost more confusing. Whereas a knife, I mean, everybody knows how to use a knife in a basic way. Just everyone uses them all the time for food. But you start adding like different motions and stuff, it can almost get confusing. So if you're having trouble with something, think, okay, what's the tightest? What's the body part without the stick? That's the part that's most important. So like some schools are sword schools, like that's their thing. So all they do is sword. And there's tightness involved with sword because you gotta be able to move the weapon efficiently. with your body, right? But then there's like the actual, if you remove the sword from them, they're kind of lost. And it's the same for like Bujinkan people. At first, like the taijutsu is okay, and then you put a weapon in their hand, and suddenly they're lost again because all they can think about is the weapon. But so like in some Japanese martial arts, the school is like a sword school, or maybe it's a short stick school, like jujutsu. But that's all they really do. Well, Bujinkan is not really like. I mean, it's a weapon-based art because it's samurai tradition, right? And so you use your weapons before you use your body. Like, you drop your weapon, crap, now I have to use my hands. Like, that's always been the case. You know, even modern warfare, you know, close quarter combat, hand-to-hand stuff is the last resort. You've had a really bad day, right? Crap, I'm having to fight people with my hands. It's been a really bad day. But the advantage of like training taijutsu first is you have a foundation in your body, so it doesn't really matter what weapon you pick up, you can use it. As long as you remember that the taijutsu comes first. You don't get confused by having the weapon. So you could pick up a basket and use it. You know, maybe just as a distraction. You know, but your training with different weapons gives you an idea of the principles. That's the most important thing. It's not so much memorizing kata after kata after kata. I mean, you practice the kata to get used to different ways of moving, right? But once you've like internalized it, you don't really need them that much anymore. Like, it's still good to practice to make sure you're not letting any of your skills get rusty. But if you have to use it for real, you can still use it for real, right? So the important thing is, what's the taijutsu? So like if you're doing this, it's still remembering what all the angles are. Like, am I getting offline? You know, am I making myself safe first, right? Then realizing, okay, which direction is the energy moving? And am I really stopping with this? I might break his wrist, but I'm not going to stop his mass, right? Or I can fit. Oh, we're going this way. He's already moving that way, so I can help him along a little bit. But again, I'm not doing it with this, and I'm not doing it with the stick. The stick is almost an afterthought. Right? The stick is just in the space. It's the body doing it. Then I go, okay, bam! Oh, sorry about that. Right, so think of the taijutsu first. It's always the movement first. Because, I mean, we may go in here and he's really good and he grabs the stick. Like, he's punching, but he grabs the other hand, right? Boom. Well, now I can't really use the stick, or maybe I can't use the stick so well. Okay, it's still the same. Then I can use the stick. Afterthought. Right? So it's the taijutsu first. Then you can pick up, theoretically, anything and use it. As long as you understand the principles. Like, you do have to know the principles of the weapon you're holding. People always say, like, when you're doing Hanbo training, oh, it could be an umbrella. Almost. So, people say things without really thinking them through, right? Been saying a lot of that lately, right? So, if I had an umbrella, if you've ever owned an umbrella, they're quite flimsy. So people are thinking, oh yeah, you could do this with an umbrella. Yeah, some people like, he's going to bend it in half. Umbrella's good for this. And that's about it. Or maybe open it up and blind them and throw it in while you run away. But to actually do like this leverage type stuff, it's going to break. So those things, like in terms of weapon characteristics, you have to understand that. Right? You can touch and slide the stick on a person that's not going to do much to them. Do it with a sword and it cuts them open. Simple. Long weapons are a little bit slower and heavier than short weapons. Long ones have a reach, short weapons don't. So they gotta get close to you. So understanding those type of things. So the next one, or this one. So the same idea on this one. So he comes in, I'm going to the inside now, right? the same idea. Catching and using, like just putting the stick in there, you might get a little bit of hit. But if he's like got mass moving, this may sting him, but it's not going to stop him, right? So I'm fitting in just like before, get the pull, and then it's the last minute. Like the stick is an afterthought. Be careful about like boom and then trying to change directions because wham, I'm going to get knocked out here. That's another reason for the pull. So if I'm here and I realize it's coming, right? If he's throwing that punch, oh, I can move. Oh, now we got this one. Or I can just move out of the way and not get hit, right? So. And in training, if you're using a wheel, pull it out because the goal is to let him land on it and break something. On him, not the stick. Like, given where he landed, it probably would have hit his ribs. The technique's called Koshi-ori, means like breaking the hip. So maybe it means like breaking the hip alignment. But I imagine if you landed on it wrong, it could hurt your hips too. Like if this was originally designed in armor, all that extra weight going on the stick, and sometimes they use metal. So maybe that would break it. But it's the same thing. Let's go this way. Fit in, pull, and the stick is the last moment. Okay. Koshi-ori. So now same thing, set or out punch. So you're just checking, the second one comes in, it's already there, same idea, fit in, use a stick. And also checking, boom the other way. Oh, sorry. No, very good. So different ways you can check. You just check with a hand. This goes back to the idea of tight shoot first. The stick is an afterthought, right? So in this one, like it's checking, but even opening up. Yeah, come and punch me. Fall into my trap. Right? Then you can do the stick. Or same idea, checking here, pulling. It can be a little confusing on Koshi-ori. The other one, Tsuki-iri is easier, I think. So, or you can just check with the stick itself. Right? Just check. Oh, that's the other thing, like sometimes it slips. It's also want to be out, just in case. Especially with a slick t-shirt and needing it for the skill. That's all what it is. There. But that's why you practice. Right? Everybody makes mistakes. You just have to, sometimes you're going to get hit. Just deal with it. Like when people hit you in the head with a wedding ring. Okay,
yes,
go ahead. First punch, checking, second punch, and then you do a stick. First punch. Oh, yeah, just the first punch, sorry. So first thing is, don't get hit, move. So if I'm doing Tsuki-iri, the one from the outside, the second punch comes in, and I move so I don't get hit. The stick's in here and then we do something. Same thing on the other one, first punch. Not relying on the stick, relying on moving, right? And then you come here. So maybe in tight suit world, so checking, boom. I'm keeping that one checked as I come here. Do this nice one. Or on the outside, you don't get hit first. Oh, and then do that on the outside. So the tight suit is first. If you start relying on the stick, like maybe your stick is like cracked and you didn't realize it, and he touches it once and then it falls apart, like it just or he's like grabbing the stick to get his punch in, and it breaks. Well, now I can't rely on the stick. All I can do is move. Okay. Oh, I lost that one, so I get another one. Right. So, first things first, make yourself safe. The stick doesn't make you safe. Like, moving out of the way makes you safe. Right? Not like, when we say check, it's not really to stop his arm, like his punch. It's just to figure out where it is in space, to give you a sense of distance and timing. And you just happen to have a stick in your hand, it's still the same thing, it's just you happen to have a stick in your hand. And then, like, even if you're gonna hit him with the stick, it's not just the stick, it's body movement, right? That's how you generate the power. So, anytime you've got a weapon, you still have to move offline. I mean, those three factors of don't get hit, move to a place that doesn't get you hit, and then know where the next one's coming from, still apply. It's still taijutsu, but it's taijutsu with a stick pasted in. I think that's why I didn't say that earlier. Like, in the Bujinkan, we study taijutsu, but we add weapons in. So we're not really a sword school, we're not really a bow school. We're a taijutsu school that uses the sword, uses the bow, uses Hanbo, spear, whatever. So, if you start having trouble with techniques, sometimes it's a good exercise to say, okay, let me put the stick away. How would this work without a weapon? And usually you'll find the movement there. The movement's still the same. Then you can just add in, pick a weapon. Pick a card, any card. Pick a weapon, any weapon. And you'll still get something out of it. Right? So taijutsu first. Make yourself safe first. Like, even if he's got the stick, right? And I'm the puncher, so maybe he's a bad guy and I can get through him to help somebody. Even the basic punch is still the same. Because he wants to use the stick. So go in the space, check the stick. And he's kind of, the initial reaction will be like, control my stick. But that opens him up for the punch, right? So it's still the same as if he didn't have a weapon, right? And it was here, in a fighting position, it's still, what's he going to do? What can I do with his hand to figure out what he knows how to do? Right? So it tells me, okay, I need to move out here because that cross is about to come around. Right? Get out of there. Or if he gives me a reaction, he moves away or inside, outside, whatever, it tells me what he's going to do. So I gotta make myself safe on entry first, then figure out what's my next move. So, same thing when he's got a knife and you've got a stick. Make yourself safe first, whether it's defense or offense.